discuss about diagonal matrices and few properties, and we will try to discuss few problems asked in competitive exams. Diagonal matrices. So let us take a 2 by 2 cases, 2 by 2 case, 2 by 2 diagonal matrices. So D is equal to, I can write in terms of lambda 1, lambda 2. These are all eigenvalues. So diagonal entries are eigenvalues. So this is called principal diagonal entries. Okay. Now advantage of diagonal matrices are the life becomes very simple if you work with diagonal matrices. As soon as the off diagonal entries appears, the calculation becomes tedious. Okay, so this is the message, we should keep it in mind. Let us see what are the simple things which we can easily do through diagonal matrices. Suppose I want to calculate D square. The advantage of diagonal matrices are lambda 1 power 2, 0, 0, lambda 2 the whole square. So if you want to calculate D cube, okay, so simply you take the cube of this and if you want to calculate for nth power where n is an integer, okay, so you can calculate lambda 1 power n 0, 0, lambda 2 power n. That's it. This you can extend for any n by n matrices. So let us write for 3 by 3 matrices. So this is equal to lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3. So these are all principal diagonal entries. And for nth power, where n is an integer, we can write it as lambda 1 power n 0, 0, 0, lambda 2 power n 0, 0, 0, lambda 3 power n. That's it. Next one is, now what about the trace of these matrices? The trace of this matrix, diagonal matrix, 2 by 2 matrix, is simply the sum of the elements in principal diagonal. Okay, so this is nothing but what? Lambda 1, lambda 2 are eigenvalues. So the trace is nothing but sum of eigenvalues. Now what about trace of D power n? 2 by 2 matrices. That is about this matrix. So this is simply lambda 1 power n plus lambda 2 power n. So this is the advantage. Lambda 1 power n plus lambda 2 power n. Similarly for 3 by 3 matrices, the trace is the lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3. The trace of D3 by 3 matrix whole power n can be written as lambda 1 power n plus lambda 2 power n plus lambda 3 power n. So for any n by n matrix, therefore in general, for any n by n matrix, or maybe I will call m by m matrix, especially this is a diagonal matrix. Okay, that means all the entries are only along diagonal. And if lambda 1, lambda 2 up to lambda m are the diagonal, the eigenvalues, so lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda m are the eigenvalues of this. Therefore, the d power n can be written as, and if you want to calculate the trace of this matrix, this is simply some I 1 to m lambda I the whole power n. That's it. Okay, so this is one of the property of diagonal matrix. So we know that the diagonal entries are the eigenvalues. Okay, for a given matrix, diagonal matrix, all the diagonal entries are eigenvalues. Okay, so and one more important property is the advantage of diagonal matrices are, if you want to take the exponential of this diagonal matrix, this is simply for 2 by 2 case e power lambda 1, e power lambda 2, and these off diagonal entries will be equal to 0. Just taking the exponential of the diagonal entries. Okay, and for 3 by 3 matrix, exponential of d 3 by 3 is simply e power lambda 1 0 0 0 e power lambda 2 0 0 0 e power lambda 3. That's it. Okay, so these are all some important uh, some basic thing about the diagonal matrices. So look at this. Operation with diagonal matrix are so simple, but in general, when you work with real problems, so you will not get a pure diagonal matrices. Okay, so that is why the calculation becomes tedious. The next one, calculate the inverse of these matrices. So if it is a diagonal matrix, it's very easy. Suppose I want to calculate D inverse of this 2 by 2 matrix. It's simple. So lambda 1 inverse 0 0 lambda 2 inverse. Provided lambda 1 is not equal to 0, similarly lambda 2 is not equal to 0. Otherwise, inverse cannot exist. If lambda 1 equal to 0 or even lambda 2 equal to 0, then this matrix will become a singular matrix, then inverse will not exist. So this condition, it should satisfy. Similarly, you can extend for 3 by 3 matrices also. Now, if you have determinant of, if you want to calculate the determinant of these matrices, so the determinant of D for 2 by 2 case, determinant of D, let us put matrices to be something like this. This is called determinant of D. Don't call it as a modulus. This is a determinant. So this is simply lambda 1 into lambda 2. Now what about determinant of D inverse? It is simply lambda 1 inverse, lambda 2 inverse. Okay. And determinant of any D power n is simply lambda 1 n, lambda 2 n. So similarly, you can write it for any 3 by 3 matrices, diagonal matrices. So these are all some elementary properties of diagonal matrices. In general, the matrix is not diagonal, correct? So suppose a matrix M is given to you, this is given, okay? So this is given. Now what we can do is, we can convert these matrices of any dimension. For example, if it is n by n matrices, we can convert to n by n diagonal matrices. Okay, so through a procedure, this procedure is known as diagonalization procedure. or we can call it as process. Okay. Now, the if you want to calculate, you have to choose a matrix which is a non-singular matrix such that P inverse M P gives you diagonal matrix. So this is a very important thing. Now, suppose if you want to calculate, the trace of this, see this is P inverse MP is equal to D. Now, what property is invariant under this transformation? This is called similarity transformation. So, what property is invariant? Something when I do some transformation, not going to change. If you want to calculate that, so let us take the trace of this P inverse MP. If you calculate this, this is called trace of D. So let us highlight the important property of trace. So trace of, let A and B are two matrices. The trace of the product of these two matrices will be, this can be written as trace of BA. So if you have two matrices, so this is the permutation of two matrices. So trace of AB is equal to trace of BA. The next important property is trace of, if I have three matrices in product, the trace of ABC can be written as trace of BCA, and that is equal to trace of CAB. So what I did is cyclically permuted. This is cyclic permutation of ABC whose traces are equal. So these properties are true only in finite dimensional representation of a matrix. If we want to apply to infinite dimensional, sorry, this property will not hold true there. So these two properties, whatever property I have written, only applicable for finite dimensional matrix representation. Okay. Now this is trace inverse of P inverse MP now can be written as. So let us apply the permutation, the cyclic permutation. Here M I can take front, then P inverse, this will become trace of D. So this means, so what is P inverse? This becomes identity. Any matrix which inverse is going to give you, when I take the product, it is going to give you I. I is the identity matrix. Now if you multiply M with I, this will give you M, because identity matrix do nothing. So we will get M itself. So M, this is equal to the trace of D. So the trace of the matrix is same as the trace of the diagonal matrix. Now what is this? Sum of eigenvalues for 2 by 2 matrix. Okay. For 3 by 3 matrix, sum of eigenvalues lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3. For n by n matrix, the eigenvalues is sum of eigenvalues like this. So this is a very important thing. So this property is invariant under the similarity transformation. Next one is, suppose I want to take trace of m power some alpha. Okay, some alpha is some integer. If you want to take, now what I should do? Okay, we know that, see, D P inverse M P, that is equal to D. So let us multiply P inverse M P into P inverse M P. 2 times I do that. So what I will get? B square, correct? Now this can be written as P inverse MP MP. Now this P inverse I write here MP, okay, that is equal to D square, and notice that these two quantity is going to become I. So this implies this above equation can be written as P inverse M I into M is M. So this becomes N square P, that is D square. Okay, that is D square. So what I have done here is, what I will get is MIM P inverse P, correct? P inverse P is I. So these two term is nothing but what? Simply M, because identity matrix when I multiply with any matrix gives nothing. Same matrix will get. So M into M, then M square. So therefore, if you want to get M power alpha, so you can write this as P inverse M power alpha P, which is equal to D power alpha. So what you have to do? You have to multiply this. How many times I have to multiply? Yeah, alpha times I have to multiply. So I will get this. Now if you calculate the trace of this is nothing but what? Trace of D alpha. So apply this cyclic property which we have discussed before. Okay, cyclic permutation property of the trace, provided the matrix should be finite dimension. And this is a very important key point. So let us do a problem asked in CSIR question. This is CSIR question asked in December 2011, physical science. So what is given? So solution. Let us solve this problem. So the given is trace of a matrix that is equal to 6. This is a 3 by 3 matrix. Read the question carefully. A 3 by 3 matrix has trace m is equal to 6, trace of m square is equal to 26, and trace of m cube is equal to 90. Which of the following can be a possible set of eigenvalues of m? So 114, minus 107, minus 134, and 222. So the trace of 6, this is given. So write down the first given quantities. Given trace of m is equal to 6, trace of m square that is equal to 26, trace of m cube that is equal to 90. Okay, now we have learned this property, that is trace of any matrix can be written as, so what is this? Trace of m is nothing but what? Trace of the diagonal matrix. Now what is trace of diagonal matrix? Sum of eigenvalues, that is lambda 1 plus lambda 2. So lambda 1 plus lambda 2 is equal to 6. Now what about here? So trace of m power 2 is nothing but what? Trace of diagonal square. So therefore this is lambda 1 square plus lambda 2 square. Since this is 3 by 3 matrix, I have to put one more eigenvalue. So lambda 3 square. Trace of m cube can be written as trace of d cube. Okay. So this is equal to lambda 1 cube plus lambda 2 cube plus lambda 3 cube. That's all. So you can substitute the values given here and verify. Suppose I put 1114 here. So 1 plus 4 that is equal to 6. So first question will satisfy the first property, first one. But what about second? 1 square plus 1 square is 2. Then 4 square is 16. So you will get only 18. So answer A is wrong. So if you take answer B, if you put -1, 0 plus 7, so first one is satisfied. -1 square is 1, 0. 7 square is 49. Totally you will get 50. So you should get 26. Therefore, this is wrong. Okay. The third one is this one. Let us take this one. Okay. So first one. So -1 plus 3 plus 4. This is equal to 6. -1 square plus 3 square plus 4 square. Okay. So 1 plus 9, 10. 10 plus 16, 26. Now -1 the whole cube plus 3 cube plus 4 cube, that is equal to -1 plus 27 plus 64. If you simplify, it is 90. So answer C satisfies these things. Answer D will not satisfy this. So the answer for this problem is C.
So a matrix 2 by 2 matrix. Let us take a 2 by 2 matrix A. Now whose eigenvalues are given. So when it is diagonalized, the D is e power I pi by 5, 0, 0, e power I pi by 6. This is given. And they said a power n, that is equal to I. Now let us calculate a power n from this formula. So what I am going to do is going to multiply P inverse AP, P inverse AP dot dot dot, P inverse AP. This P inverse AP I multiplied n times. Okay. So what I will get? I will get it as, for P inverse AP, we know that is D. So this is D. For this P inverse AP, I will get D dot 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 D. This is also multiplied n times. So from these, what we get is, see, when I combine these two, I will get identity matrix. The next, here I will get P inverse here, right? A, P, like that I will get. So this P also goes here. Like that here I will get a P. So this P inverse also goes here. Okay. So at last what you will get is P inverse A power n P. So P inverse A power n P, that is equal to D power n. So P inverse A power n P, that is equal to, what is D power n? D is given here. Therefore, if you multiply n times, it's simply I pi by 5, the whole power n, 0, 0, e I pi by 6, the whole power n. This is nothing but e power I n pi by 5, 0, 0, e I n pi by 6. That's all. Okay. Next, what we are going to do is, it is given that a power n is equal to I. Correct? So So a power n is equal to I. So it is given. So if you take determinant of a power n, that is equal to determinant of I, which is equal to 1. Okay. And we are going to use a property of the determinant, that is determinant of, suppose I have two determinant of AB. If A and B are matrices, the determinant of AB is equal to determinant of A into determinant of B. So we are going to use this property. So what is there in the previous slide? P inverse AN P, that is equal to D power n. So taking determinant on both sides. So determinant of P inverse AN P is equal to determinant of Dn. Now this can be split like this: P inverse determinant AN P Dn. So when I combine these two, so what I will get? So P inverse P, that is equal to P inverse P. See, determinant are numbers, so I can take this here. Okay, if it is a matrices, in general matrix won't commute. So since it is a number, so we can flip this and we can combine with this. So what happened here is determinant of I, because P inverse P is nothing but what? I. So therefore it is equal to 1. Therefore from this, determinant of A power n, this is equal to determinant of n, D power n, diagonal matrix power n. Now what is given here? Since A power n is equal to I, from this which we conclude that determinant of A power n is equal to 1. So which means determinant of Dn is equal to how much? That is equal to 1. What is Dn? Dn is this quantity. Okay. So we have to calculate the determinant of this quantity. Since Dn is e power I n pi by 5 0 0 e power I n pi by 6. Therefore, whose determinant is d power n is equal to, the determinant is product of eigenvalue. So this into this. So e power I n pi by 5 into e power I n pi by 6. So this is equal to e power, base is same, you can add the power. So when after adding this, simplification gives you n 11 pi by 30. So which is, so I'm going to substitute this in here. So this becomes e power I n 11 pi by 30, that is equal to 1. So we have to find the solution. That is, we want to get the value of n from here. So the question is the smallest value of n such that this satisfies a power n is equal to I. The smallest value of n we have to calculate. So in order to do that, let us solve for n. E power I n 11 pi by 30, that is equal to 1. When I put n is equal to, for example, when I put n is equal to 0, it is a trivial solution. So let us ask non-trivial solution. Okay. So this happens when I put n is equal to 0, obviously we'll get 1. So don't worry about 0. One more thing is there is no option for containing 0. So no need to worry about that part here. So suppose I take n is equal to 1. Suppose I take n is equal to 1, I 11 pi by 30, this is not equal to 1. So this is a fractional, some non-integer part times pi. So therefore this is not equal to 1. So if you do for n is equal to 2, 3, etc., when I put n is equal to 30, what happens? N is equal to 30 e power I 30 into 11 pi by 30. So these two gets cancelled. E power I 11 pi. So that is cos 11 pi plus I sin 11 pi. Cos 11 pi is minus 1. Sin 11 pi is 0. Therefore, you will get minus 1. So this is not required, right? We want plus 1. So we have to increase the value of n. Suppose you take n is equal to 60. Between these two, n is equal to 30 and 60, you will not get 1. So when I put n is equal to 60, so this is 60 times 11 pi by 30. So this is 2 times. So e power I 22 pi. This can be written as e power I 11 pi the whole power, or I can write this as 2 pi the whole power 11. So what is e power 2 pi I? E power 2 pi I is 1. So this is 1 power 11, that is equal to 1. Therefore, for n is equal to 60, it satisfies. Therefore, for this problem, C is the correct answer. Given in June 2017 CSIR. So which of the following cannot be eigenvalues of a real 3 by 3 matrix? So please try to solve this problem. If you have any doubt, if you want any clarification, please put it on the comment box. We will reply. The answer for this problem will be discussed in the next video. Thanks for watching this video.
Thank you for watching the video. If you liked the video, please press the like button. If you are interested in receiving information about new videos that are posted, click the subscribe button. If you have any comments or questions about the content discussed in the video, please leave them in the comments section below.